Hello, and welcome to our second annual Desai Demo Day. I am so excited to have you guys all here today. We have 6 incredible companies who have been working tirelessly over the past 13 weeks to build and grow their businesses. But before I turn the stage over to them, I want to start with a quick video to tell you a little bit more about what we do here at Desai. My name is Kelly Lapierre, and I'm the Managing Director of the Desai Accelerator.
So Desai Accelerator is a joint venture between the Zeller Institute at Ross
and the University of Michigan Center for Entrepreneurship through the College of Engineering.
It gets tech-enabled businesses from all over the country and takes them through a 16-week intensive program where they receive funding, resources from the University of Michigan and the Ann Arbor area and beyond.
It's really focused on connecting the great tech community in Ann Arbor with the great resources that the university has.
When I created the Desai Accelerator, I had 2 main goals in mind. The first was to create a completely founder-friendly environment, and that comes in many different forms. The first being the investment vehicle in which we use to invest in the companies, the continual access to mentors and advisors and coaches throughout the program and post-program, as well as access to talented students that can help them grow their business.
It's a great opportunity to network and work on a product with a great group of interns who are always willing to help and have great ideas.
I wanted to make sure that our space allowed founders and interns alike to feel safe in order to take risks, but also supported in order to help each other grow and develop as people and their businesses.
Startups need that community, that family to lean back on. The decisions they have to make every day are super hard. The problems that come up are really unique and only they are the ones to solve them. But having people who have been through similar situations and having people there to support them and push them forward really, I think, allow them to expand their dreams.
My favorite part of Desai is being surrounded by incredibly talented people who are ambitious and motivated to impact the world.
So my favorite part about Desai is the community and the environment. So even though all 6 companies work on different things, we all experience the same highs and lows, and it's very relatable.
My favorite part about Desai is the beautiful workplace, and it's just a great place to get things done.
My favorite part about Desai is the structure. Bringing structure to chaos. It's a very difficult thing, but very impactful.
My favorite part of this program is Demo Day, where the founders get up and pitch in front of a room full of investors and community members at the Michigan Theater. And it's really great to see the progress that the companies have made since day one on their businesses and on their ability to articulate their vision and passion for what they're doing. It's also really great to see the community of people here in Ann Arbor and in Southeast Michigan come together in order to support these entrepreneurs and share ideas and thoughts on their businesses.
Desai is multifaceted.
Desai is a launch pad.
Desai is inspiration because all these companies bring such a cool, unique perspective that it makes you feel inspired to want to do more with what you're doing.
Desai is the gate of possibilities.
Desai is an oasis in the desert of despair.
Desai is a community. We are a family together, we care about each other, and we're really interested in really helping each other grow.
As I mentioned in the video, my favorite part about this program is actually today and Demo Day, because of this group of people we have here in the audience that are all come out to support these entrepreneurs in this program. It's because of your support that these entrepreneurs are able to go along this journey. So thank you all for being here and for your support. I also would like to give a special thank you to the Desai family who are here in the way back.
It is because of their generous contribution that we were able to launch this program from just an idea 2 years ago to what it is today. So thank you, guys. With that, let's start the show. So I'm very pleased to introduce our first speaker, who is a friend and mentor here at Desai, Henry Bellingham.
Hello. Hello. Hi, guys. I'm Henry Bellingham. I am an entrepreneur. I started 2 companies. One is called Detroit Labs. They're in Detroit. And then one was Stratos here in Ann Arbor. And I have the opportunity and pleasure to be able to introduce Ash and Anvil. But before I do that, I want to tell a story. So the reason I became an entrepreneur is because I couldn't be an athlete. And the athletes aren't built like me. Entrepreneurs kind of are sometimes. So I chose that route. So I'm 5'3", and I want to talk about some challenges about that, specifically within clothing. I want to talk about my fashion journey as I was growing up, and then eventually we're going to get to Ash and Anvil eventually. But starting off, in the 90s, early 2000s, it was cool to wear really baggy clothes. And that's what I did. So for a very long part of my life, actually, in the beginning, I wore very baggy clothes. Eventually, I wanted girls to like me, and I had to wear better fitting clothes. The problem is I went to retail stores and none of that fit. And so I did a little trick, and this was back in my skinnier days. I used to go to Gap kids section and get the extra large. And it was great because it was a little bit cheaper and it was clothes that fit me, which worked for maybe a few years until this area started growing right here. And then and then my wife said, you should get some clothes that fit. And so I started going to retailers and I got this polo here. This is a size small. And the problem with this is this. When I extend my arm here, this goes way past my knuckles. And if I wear this untucked, you can't see it down there, but it like comes down like pretty low over here. So if I'm wearing shorts or anything like that, it might look like I'm wearing nothing underneath, which is not a good look. And so, there's a segment that Ash and Anvil covers, and they started making shirts. Can I cue some music to do a reveal, please? I'm bringing sexy back. Yeah. The mother boys don't know how to act. Yeah. I think it's special what's behind your back. So I helped Kyle Bazzi with Startup Next, which is a pre-accelerator, back in January when we were choosing our cohort. For me and for Kyle, they were one of our top picks. It was really easy for us to pick, and then they got picked here at Desai as well to continue their journey. Steven and Eric, they're great entrepreneurs, and I've been working with them for a few months now. I met them when they were both living at Eric's grandmother's condo in Farmington Hills, and now they have an office, and now they have a lot of volume coming in through their sales. But I respect these guys a lot, and so I want to introduce the first Desai team, Ash and Anvil.
Thank you, Henry. As you can see behind me, he's literally becoming the face of the company overnight. He's the one on the left there. As you can see, I'm short. For myself and the millions of American men, 5'8" and below, buying clothes is tough. Clothes are made for models that are 6'1", many in the audience today, not for guys like Henry and I. As Henry mentioned, when us shorter guys shop, we have 3 bad options right now. First, we can get custom clothes. This is one way to get the right fit, but it takes quite a bit of time and money to do so. Our second option is to tailor everything we purchase. We go to the mall, pick something up, stop at the tailor on the way back, wait a week, spend $25, and then you end up with one garment that actually fits. And the third option for the skinnier among us, like Henry said, is to shop in the kids section. As an adult, it's not fun to shop alongside parents and their 6-year-old kids, but it's one way to do it. Now, if you look in the US today, 1 in 3 American men are 5'8" and under. That's a huge number, representing over 40 million adults in our country alone. This number is actually more shorter guys than there are petite women in the US today. But I challenge everybody, can you think of a shorter men's brand? If you look at the industry, you have menswear and womenswear catering to the masses, many billion-dollar industries. On the larger end, you have big and tall and plus size for men and women, industries worth billions of dollars with hundreds of stores going after each vertical. On the smaller side, you have petite women, $9 billion industry last year. But for shorter guys, there's nothing, even though there's 40 million of us, and it's such a big opportunity. That's where Anvil comes in. We are defining the short and small, or rather short and sexy, category of men's fashion, and we're creating the first major retailer for shorter guys. Now, as you saw with Henry, the first shirt he was wearing did not look good, but it's not just him. It's all shorter guys. Everything we buy off the rack looks horrible. It's too long in the body and the sleeves, and overall fit doesn't work. The clothes weren't made for us. With our everyday shirt, what I'm wearing now and what Henry had afterwards, that was made specifically for guys 5'8" and under, and we looked at all of the details that go into a shirt and spent 8 months developing that. We started with an everyday shirt since that's what our customers asked for the most, and that's what Eric and I knew was one of the biggest problems for shorter men. We launched our online store this past November, and we were fortunate to sell out of our inventory in the first 5 weeks. Since then, we've been selling directly to consumer on our website, and we have over $115,000 of sales of everyday shirts. And the best part is that 96% of our customers love their clothes and say they're so glad to have found Ash and Anvil. We were interviewed in a CNBC article recently, and they quoted a retail analyst who said this is the most underserved market in apparel. They didn't even track it, it's that underserved. We have a real opportunity to create a new industry in menswear and be one of the first ones to do that. Now, why has no one done this before? Shorter guys obviously have worn clothes for a while. If you look at the major brands, there's 2 big reasons. And the first is that being short isn't cool. Brands like J. Crew, Bonobos, Banana Republic, they spend millions of dollars a year on branding to make their brand somewhere that the average and typical guys want to shop at. If they add that short and small section, then their main core audience isn't going to want to shop there anymore. With Ash and Anvil, we can change that. We can make sure that our audience knows that we're a place for them and make the branding cool and something they want to associate with. Second major reason is that big retailers want the bigger pieces of the pie. We have a huge market, 40 million guys, but it is still a niche. It's a $12 billion opportunity, and the major retailers want to go after the larger one. Similarly to Lane Bryant and Destination XL for plus size and big and tall men and women, we can own the space. We can be one of the first brands to say, we're here for you, and we're the ones taking care of the niche. Now, we want to have a good idea of who our current Ash and Anvil customer is when we design our clothes and the fit and everything around it. And we know that from our existing almost 1,000 customers. From a physical standpoint, our guys range from 5 foot all the way to 5'9", with our average or medium around 5'5". Our sizes are from extra small to 2XL. We want to cover a wide range of shorter guys, with an average about 155 pounds. Age-wise, most of our guys are 20 to 45, and again, median in that 35. When it comes to their careers, most of our guys work in tech, finance, sales, and marketing, industries where you could wear casual, everyday clothes to work, or at least afterwards at the bar. And our guys live in large urban areas like San Francisco, New York, Detroit, Philadelphia, places where you don't have quite a lot of time, but you still want to look good and not put too much effort into it. So far, we bootstrapped the business to date, and until Desai, didn't take any investment. We had to grow through word of mouth and more organic means, and we were fortunate to receive quite a bit of press when we launched, and that helped jumpstart everything to help us sell out. Moving forward, though, we want to focus on more paid approaches and scalable opportunities. And our marketing plan is threefold. First, go after Google. You have over 10,000 searches a month for shorter guy clothes, and we want to make sure we're front and center when those guys search for exactly what our product is. Second is through social media. Everybody's online, and if we can find the right ways to find shorter men, share our story, and get them to try our clothes, we know that they're going to love it. And the third is working with influencers and sponsors. It's the modern day celebrity, guys with 50 to 100,000 rabid followers that really care about what they're doing, that can then wear our clothes and tell the story. Also today, I want to announce our fall collection. We're selling out fast from our summer collection. We're almost 70% of the way there. And today is the first sneak peek at our fall clothes, which are coming in about a month. If you like what you're hearing and want to buy some gifts, they make great ones for the holidays. And moving forward, we don't want to just make shirts. We want to be the first major retailer for shorter guys. and that means a full wardrobe of clothes. We've asked our customers what they want, and that includes dress shirts, which is an easy extension of what we have now, which will be coming in the winter time, and then jeans and chinos next year. Shorter inseam, smaller taper, a smaller rise, and a lot of little details to make sure it's finally made for guys our size. Now I want to close here by talking about Patrick. Patrick is 5 foot, he's 40 years old, and he's a Georgia State music professor. And he sent us this photo wearing one of our shirts and a testimonial one day unsolicited. And he said, "I'm sick and tired of shopping at Gap Kids, and I'm so glad to have found Ash and Anvil." This is a 40-year-old man that has shopped in the kids section his entire life, not just in his childhood. Our goal with Ash and Anvil is to make sure that guys like Patrick and the shorter men in the audience today never have to shop in the kids section again. Shorter guys are leaders in politics, in business, and entertainment. They make wonderful fathers and brothers. It's time we finally have clothes that are made for us. If you like what we're doing and want to learn more and get involved, I'd love to chat afterwards. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jim Price, and I'm keeping my clothes on. I know you're happy to hear that. I'm a serial tech entrepreneur for 25 years and counting in the software and internet space here in Ann Arbor. I also teach at Michigan Ross, teach entrepreneurship, and serve as an entrepreneur in residence at Zell Lurie Institute. I have the pleasure today of introducing you to Jamhawk. Now, let's talk about music. Music affects all of us in our lives. It touches us in various ways, but all of us are fans. Some of us are also musicians. Music affects all of us. The digital music business in the US alone is $5 billion right now and growing. But there's a problem. It's so easy to, on the one hand, for us to access digital music, but it's too often the popular stuff, the hits, or the golden oldies. How do we go about, I've been struggling with this for years, discovering neat new stuff, to discover those great new tunes, to discover those great new artists. Here's the cool thing. Jamhawk has cracked that code. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Brandon Sledge-Mellon. Brandon is a fellow entrepreneur, a fellow recovering musician, and a really good friend. Brandon?
I say if we're gonna do it right. If we're gonna do this, do it right.
Thank you, Jim. Hi, I'm Brandon Sledge-Mellon, founder of Jamhawk, a music discovery service. I'm here today to unearth the greatest music you never knew existed. I'm here to do this because discovering great music, the music that's just right for you, is incredibly hard. Music discovery is hard. It's hard because it's so fragmented. As you look at this chart, you'll see a list of different services that people use to discover new music in 2015. One thing you'll notice is that people used AM/FM radio and friends and family more than the music technology to discover new music. The music technology is not solving the music discovery problem. As you look even closer, you'll notice that people even used Facebook more than Spotify to discover new music. It's because this market is so fragmented that users are so open to using new services. Nielsen found that over 80% of Americans with music streaming accounts had more than one music streaming service. Now, the market research suggests this number is so high because there's such a significant level of dissatisfaction. People can't get the experience they want, so they're forced to build it by using different services for different functions. Here's a little bit about why this is happening. As you look at this Venn diagram, you'll see that we've listed different services. Now, these services provide a bevy of different functions. Some they perform well and some they don't. The point here is that nobody focuses exclusively on active music discovery, and therefore they don't do it all that well. But at Jamhawk, this is all that we do. We're completely built for music discovery, from concept to product. It starts by employing a scientific approach to music discovery. Recently, neuroscientists revealed that activity within the ventral striatum, a key portion of our brain's reward system, was significantly correlated with the eventual commercial success of new songs as respondents were scanned while listening to new music. Now, these incredible results serve as the basis of our hit prediction system that we use to distill millions and millions of song possibilities into a smaller, optimized database of 30,000 songs of the highest quality. Furthermore, we provide you with a service where you can find fresh new music, quickly get down to what's just right for you, and seamlessly integrate your findings into your existing libraries like Spotify and iTunes. Now, we do this because it's a huge benefit to you, but we also do this because you don't have to change much about your current behavior. Our discovery system is currently available to you as a web interface, and we're building our iPhone app, which will be released this month. As you look at our interface, you'll notice intuitive and innovative tools that will help you unearth the greatest music you never knew existed. But first, let's talk a little bit more about the market, how we're different, and why we win. As we look at the market, we can examine it according to its key features. Let's start by separating the players into listening systems on the left and discovery systems on the right, meeting user behavior on both active and passive fronts. We'll begin in the lower right with passive discovery. The leader here is Shazam. The problem with Shazam is that you use it when you already know the song you like. You're just looking to get more information about it. As we move to passive listening, the leader here is Pandora. The problem with Pandora is that it's incredibly restrictive in debuting new music. Not only that, you don't have any control over your next song choice. Ultimately, this is a confining experience. As we move to active listening with Spotify, Spotify is an on-demand streaming service. The problem with Spotify is that it's over 30 million songs. How are you supposed to find the fresh new music that's just right for you when you're looking at a list and lists of songs? It's simply overwhelming. So where do you go when you're actively looking to discover new music? There's no one in this space. This is why we've strategically chosen to focus our efforts on active music discovery and solve the pain point that so many people in this market face. Now let's take a look at how it works. As you look at our interface, you'll notice that we're specifically designed to conquer this problem of active music discovery. And it starts by addressing two of the key issues I just highlighted, too overwhelming and too confining. It starts with our filter system that solves the problem of being too overwhelmed. This enables you to distill lists and lists of songs into the songs that are just right for you. We allow you to select genre, subgenre, and popularity to quickly get to what you want. Next, we implement a recommendation system that solves the problem of being too confining. We're actually giving you a choice over your next song. These 4 songs in our recommendation system sit down at the bottom of the player, and they're based on your current filter selections, your current song selections, and your history of likes and dislikes. Now that you've seen a little bit about the functionality, let's talk about some use cases for when a system like this would be most helpful. Here's Barbecue Brian. He's throwing a party for his friends. He spends all day preparing and at the last minute looks at his Spotify account and notices that all of the songs in his playlist have grown old. And an old playlist at a barbecue party, it's pretty lame, Brian. But if he were a Jamhawk user, he could use our filter system to quickly find the fresh new music in his favorite genre, ensuring his party is a success. Next, we have Roadtrip Rachel. She's going out of town this weekend with her friends. Now, she's someone her friends normally look to for recommendations, but unfortunately, she didn't have time to build her playlist like she normally does. But if she were a Jamhawk user, she could use our recommendation system to build this list in real time, ensuring she doesn't lose any credibility with her friends. Finally, we have Workout Will. Will's a busy person. Today, he gets to the gym on his lunch break, pulls out his phone, and starts flipping through songs in his workout playlist, and notices that they're all incredibly old, and it's just not that motivating anymore. But if he were a Jamhawk user, he would never have this problem. He could use our seamless integrations to keep his playlist fresh and exciting, ensuring he always gets a great workout. Now, these examples, although they don't represent all use cases, are all indicative of a larger problem. Why do Brian, Rachel, and Will struggle so much to find fresh new music and to build playlists? It's because they all suffer from a very serious condition known as playlist area fatigue-lumicus, colloquially known as playlist fatigue syndrome. They're perfect potential users of Jamhawk, which would have saved them a lot of time and a lot of fatigue. 2 months ago, we launched the beta version of our web application as we were building our mobile app. We've since grown to over 500 beta testers who've given us great feedback that we've been able to iterate into our mobile build. One of the key metrics we wanted to track when we started was skip rate, or the percentage of time a person hits the skip button while they're in our system. Now, we wanted to track this because we wanted to be sure that our recommendations were actually working. When we started, we saw a skip rate of about 38%. As we've grown, been able to iterate feedback, and optimize content, we've been able to drive this rate down to 23%, and we continue to improve in this endeavor. I would love to talk more about the upcoming release of our iPhone app, so please come and find me after the presentations if you're interested in chatting about Jamhawk. And let's talk about how Jamhawk can help you unearth the greatest music you never knew existed. Thank you.
I say if we're gonna do it right.
Good afternoon. There we go. They're out there. It's dark, but I can see you. My name is Jeffrey Post. I am the top real estate producer for Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and I have the distinct honor and pleasure of introducing two remarkable women and one remarkable company, Roomation, that in my opinion is really going to change opportunity, specifically in my industry, but also for home buyers. Lakshmi and Katie met at Michigan's Ross School of Business. And I would guess to say they break the mold of typical tech entrepreneurs. They're an all-female team, and one of them is a mother of two. One thing that I can tell you, having sold quite a bit of real estate, there are two constants. One, women, sorry guys, make the final decision in real estate purchases. Two, that women also are the catalyst, the key catalyst for home renovation and home design projects. I also know, having sold a lot of properties and closed a lot of properties, the dilemma of finding the appropriate way to share my appreciation and thanks to my clients that is not only important and useful, but also at the same time can help build my brand promise. Let's face it, how many oven mitts do you need? And how many oven mitts do you have? We all know that building a successful business comes from great determination and a great idea, also in the face of adversity. And I just want to share one little thing with you. A little over a year ago, Lakshmi was 8 months pregnant with her second son, and a fluke incident left her completely facially paralyzed. She was unable to blink, eat, speak, and smile properly, was dealing with severe pain, and only started having normal movement 7 months ago. Her daily routine was shattered, wearing eye patches, avoiding being outdoors, and trying to learn how to speak without using her lips. While balancing being a mom to an infant and a toddler, it was pure determination that led her to avoid the doctor's recommended cranial surgery, and she is now 80% healed purely through hard work and physical therapy. During this time, no one would have blamed her if she decided to shut down Roomations, but she was determined and knew she had something that people found valuable. Through the support of her family and her co-founder, Katie, she faced her challenges head-on and has built a remarkable product. It is the same determination that is found in only a handful of people, which makes her a successful entrepreneur and one to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Roomation.
Just know you're not alone, 'cause I'm gonna make this place your home.
Thank you, Jeffrey. It's a really nice introduction. Well, hello, I'm Lakshmi, founder and CEO of Roomations, a site that connects homeowners with a network of interior designers online who will help you put your space together. Raise your hands if you've ever moved before and had to set up a place. Seems like most of you here have, except that guy looks like he still lives with his parents. Well, I am a mom to two incredibly energetic little boys, and because I've had a few moves, I've had to spend a lot of time setting up. Don't you love the excitement of being in a new place? I mean, it's kind of a blank slate for anything. So maybe in this excitement, you start getting ideas of how to put the place together. Maybe you surf Pinterest or look at Hows or watch HGTV, or maybe you have absolutely no idea where to start. When I say a ton of ideas, I mean a ton. The idea of going through all these sites and picking furniture and paint colors while I'm also trying to manage my kids' schools, meals, and schedules is pretty overwhelming. We're part of a generation in which we're overloaded with too much information and too many options for everything. From looking through thousands of reviews about one gray couch to being bombarded with social media photos and feeling though we need to have our home done beautifully and quickly, like that annoying Facebook friend that puts way too many pictures of her stuff. There were 6 million homes sold in the United States in 2015 alone. That means there were 6 million times people thought about furniture. 6 million times they thought about paint colors. 6 million times they had to set up a place. These new homeowners, on average, spent $7,400 in the first year alone on furniture. So that translates to a $44 billion industry. You know, my family and I, we were part of this industry a little earlier this year when we bought our home. And when our realtor took us through the process, she had these cool tools to help us along the way. From a site that connects us with lenders to another site that helped manage all our closing documents. And there were plenty of places she could have helped us to reach vendors and contractors so we could put our home together and get quotes from movers so we can directly move in and manage our move online. But there was nothing she could have helped us to set up the place, which is the most overwhelming and longest lasting part of the home buying process. Roomations is that solution. Let me show you how it works. Meet Amanda from Seattle. Amanda recently bought a home with her husband and 2 children, and she was so excited about the place, before even closing on the home, she started picturing what her living room would look like. She started saving ideas to Pinterest and just looking online. But at some point, it started getting overwhelming, so her realtor came to her and said, hey, listen, Amanda, I'm not an interior designer, but through Roomations, I have access to a network of 100 vetted interior designers that are available in an instant. One of them will connect with you and help you put your place together. So Amanda goes to her realtor's branded interior design website, powered by Roomations. She selects her biggest home dilemma, figuring out a floor plan for her space. She then submits her dilemma, links to her Pinterest board, and uploads pictures of her space. She takes our proprietary style quiz, which helps our designers understand her tastes. And then she's connected with Blair, one of our vetted interior designers. Blair responds to her with a vision for her space and links to products that she recommends to help her put her home together. With Roomations, homeowners get the answers they need, designers earn money for their work, and realtors get the accolades. Now, I've brought up the realtors industry a few times today, and I really wanted to dig into this market a little bit because this is our go-to market strategy. There are 2 million licensed real estate agents in the United States. This is a massive market. They spend $8.9 billion on marketing alone. And as Jeffrey said, they're looking for innovative tools to help them stand out of the clutter. Usually, they try to be memorable by giving a closing gift anywhere between $100 and $300. And it's typically a basket of wine, gift cards, or a knife set with their names embossed on it. I mean, seriously, do you guys remember those? That's not even memorable. With Roomations, their clients will now get access to a professional interior designer who will give them a blueprint of how to put their home together. And that will help them start living. Now that's a lot more memorable. We initially tested our market with 100 paying homeowner projects, and that helped us refine our product and understand the needs of both homeowners and interior designers. We just launched our realtor-facing subscription site 1 week ago, and in the last few days alone, we've already had 5 sales with realtor teams. Each of these teams has on average 70 transactions per year. So just in the last few days, we've now gotten Roomations in the hands of 350 new homeowners. This is the present. Let me give you a glimpse into the future. By working with realtors, we've simultaneously added a ton of value for realtors, but we've actually also created a sales force for us of people who are recommending Roomations for us. New home construction builders, relocation services, and furniture retailers would all benefit from our platform. We're also talking to major players in virtual reality to help the experience that homeowners have of visualizing the designer-recommended products in their home. And there's potential for furniture retailers to directly hop onto our platform and recommend their products to these new home buyers. We're ready and excited to take this nagging headache of putting a home together off the hands of homeowners everywhere so they can focus on better things, like, if they're like me, making sure the baby's not eating sand. So come talk to me, pull up a chair, or let me know if you need one.
Welcome to my house, baby.
Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Iverson, and I'm a partner with MRPR. We are a CPA and advisory firm based in Southfield, Michigan. We also have an office here in Carytown in Ann Arbor. I focus my practice mostly on early stage companies, both startups and also second stage type businesses. And I'm excited to introduce to everybody Sultant. I think it's a wonderful idea. And I have a fresh story last night. My daughter, who's going to be a 10th grader, a pioneer, I was talking to her last night about Sultant, actually. And she thinks what she believes is one of the most boring careers you could have. How can you be a CPA, Dad? What do you do every day? And so I told her about Sultant, and her response kind of floored me, actually. She actually said, wow, that is really cool. So I'm like, if I can explain this to my 10th grade daughter, everybody's going to understand this. So I think it's pretty neat. So I was actually introduced to the guys here at Sultant a couple months back, and I was intrigued, wanted to learn more about them, wanted to learn more about Sultant. So I did, before I met with them in person, I did a little bit of investigation to learn about the co-founders. Pretty impressive backgrounds. The two co-founders, Eric Plummer, Jared Crooks, both attended Princeton. Eric has a degree in economics and a master's in management from Wake Forest as well. And Jared has a degree, I believe, in astrophysics and mechanical engineering. So they've got a pretty impressive background. It made me want to meet with them in person and learn more, which I did. And so I learned about Sultant in meeting with Eric, learning about what these guys do, what they're trying to build, what Sultant is, and I really was intrigued about the problem that they're trying to solve in my profession and working with clients. And so as a CPA, one of the things that I am always trying to do, my goal is to become a trusted advisor to my client. And I can do that by providing insight and ideas, basically, around financial and tax matters. And I truly believe that Sultant can help me do this. I've talked to other CPAs in the profession, smaller firms, larger firms, 3 or 4 different firms, and they all immediately get what these guys are trying to do. They understand it. They understand the problem of wanting to provide more value to your clients, wanting to become their trusted advisor. And so what is Sultant? I see it really as a SaaS-based tool that provides real-time management level insight to your clients around the direction and health of these small businesses. So I'm pretty excited about it, and welcome Eric to tell you more about Sultant.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate that. At Sultant, we believe that small businesses are the lifeblood of the economy. We want to help them by helping them to understand their financial health like never before. In my past experiences, I've worked with companies large and small all across the country, dealing with different financial matters across the way. For some of the retailers I've dealt with billion-dollar financial projection projects. For some of the smaller companies, I've dealt with helping to figure out if their finances are in enough healthy of a situation to actually add the first employee. During those situations, the one thing I realized is that The big companies had things, but the small companies are really the lifeblood of their communities. They are the bedrocks. They help the community to give back to itself. They create jobs, they create opportunities like never before. There are about 27 million of them in the US alone. And this is a huge, huge market, but the sad part is 50% of them fail within the first 5 years. And a lot of the reasons why they fail are simply because they don't understand their own financial health. An example of this kind of a company is a company called Nuri. They were a husband and wife couple that's Ivy League graduates, really, really smart people that created a health food bar company. They sold both in e-commerce and in retail. Retail, they sold at Whole Foods and Wegmans. Their business ended up collapsing, but when they looked back, they realized it was because of one reason. It was their margins. At retail, they had about a 20% margin, while online, they had a 50% margin. That difference in margin crushed their cash flow. And with no cash flow, the business couldn't survive. Why do I tell you this story? I'll tell you this story because one of the co-founders of Nuri is actually one of the co-founders of Sultant. He, from that experience, learned so much about what it meant to understand the financial health of the business that he wanted to go out and fix it for other entrepreneurs. Then there's me, who spent time dealing with businesses large and small, helping them understand their financial health, and we together decided that Sultant was the way to fix this. For these big companies, they have teams and teams and teams of $100,000 a year analysts that are able to go out and fix any problem the CEO could ever come up with. But for these small business owners, at most it's them and their CPA. And these business owners aren't very financially savvy. A lot of them love what they love to do, but they don't like anything else. So for a baker, they want to bake. They don't want to look at numbers all day long. And we want to help them do it better. So we created Sultant. Sultant here is a dashboard that helps them to quickly see their financial health in an intuitive way. We leverage three things: intuitive visualizations, simple insights, and actionable recommendations that really help them to understand their financial health. We try to make it as simple as possible for people who don't like numbers to understand that those numbers really impact their business and if they can perform the way they need to. We launched our alpha product in May 2016, and right after that, we actually spent the next month going through QuickBooks certification. We're built on top of QuickBooks, and this is a big deal for us. We went through a technical, security, and marketing review that allowed us then to market directly to QuickBooks customers. We quickly acquired a very small alpha group of about 30 customers to test it out and to give us a sense of how the product was working. We had a 5-star rating in the QuickBooks App Store, and then we spent time just listening. For us, the biggest part of this accelerator was really figuring out where the product should go next. What we learned was the interaction between small businesses and CPAs, there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. For the small business owners, they knew they gave information to the CPA, and in return, they thought they were getting not only their financials and tax returns, but they also thought they were getting lots and lots of advice. The problem is that while the CPAs would love to give all this advice, there's a ton of clients per CPA. And for them, the amount of money they make is directly tied to the amount of hours they can bill. For them, time is money, and there's no way for them to get around that. So Sultant kind of realized that we have an opportunity here to really create a linchpin between the CPAs and the small business owners to give them the help they need and help the CPAs to grow their business as well. The three things that the CPAs told us they needed in order to make this product work were financial benchmarks, dashboards, and alerts. They wanted to be able to know what was going on with their customers, see it visually, and be able to compare them to their competitors to figure out where to go next. So what we created were two products that will help them do this better. One is a benchmark tool. This benchmark tool is actually live on the internet right now, and you can quickly go on as a small business owner and compare yourself to companies of like industry, sub-industry, and asset class, and do this in a really quick and intuitive way. We also created for the CPAs a specific dashboard that overlays on top of the current Sultant dashboard that allows them to quickly see how their businesses are doing and to be able to be proactive rather than reactive with their clients. The biggest part of this dashboard is all about the alerts. We wanted to make it simple and easy for these CPAs to go onto their computers and quickly see how these businesses are doing, understand what action they need to take in order to correct those issues, and to be able to do it in a seamless way. Originally, when we started, it was all about the small business owner. And honestly, it still is. What we learned is that for the small business owners, there's another big part of their financial health. It's the CPAs. And really at Sultant, our job is to bring them together like never before. Our business model was simple at the beginning. We thought we can go out to all 27 million small business owners and talk to them all one-on-one and give them a product that we thought could help save them. What we learned very quickly was that their CPAs were the way to get to them. And that for these CPAs, each one of them has a ton of clients. So if we can provide value to the CPAs, we can really make a splash in the market. And the splash can be really big. For each of these CPAs, they have about 125 customers apiece. That leads for us about the $3,000 a month revenue that we can generate per CPA that we acquire. At the end of the day, it's simply all about the small business owners. They are what makes the community special. They give character, they give opportunities, and we want to help them to really turn their passion into profit. If you guys are interested in helping us to do that, I'd love to speak with you afterwards. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
You used to call me on my cell phone.
Hi, my name is Larry Cooperman. I've been part of the Ann Arbor community for almost 30 years. I came out to Ann Arbor originally because this was a wonderful place to raise kids. My kids are now grown. They've moved on with their lives. They've relocated. But Ann Arbor is still our hometown. That's how we feel about it. I work in the computer games industry. I'm Director of Business Development for a company called Night Dive Studios. I also do consulting services for a number of companies in that space. Most recently, I've joined the advisory board for a company called Gaudium, which is an Ann Arbor-based gaming startup company that's doing some extraordinary things. A little bit of notes about the size of the gaming market. This year, games for mobile devices, that's smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, are going to generate about $30 billion in revenue. That market space is growing by about 21% year over year. So it's a very lucrative space. I believe it can also be a big driver for future economic growth in Ann Arbor. I think we can really carve out a niche there. We have the right pool of talented people with the right computer skills. The barriers to entry in terms of startup costs are very low. There isn't much required in the way of equipment beyond computers and talent. And I think it's a space where we can really make an impact. What's necessary for that is to have the right people behind it. So without further ado, I'm very honored to introduce to you David Kai, one of the co-founders of Gaudium, and he's going to present what his company is doing. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Larry. As he just mentioned, my name's David, co-founder of Gaudium. We're the pioneering anime game studio here in the US. Now, before I talk more about what my team is doing to disrupt the culture around mobile gaming, I have to first talk a little bit about history. So 20 years ago, there's a myriad of small, fantastical creatures that took the world by storm. And you probably know them as Pokemon, small collectible pocket monsters that you could take with you anywhere. This one is Pikachu. Ever since their inception 20 years ago, Pokemon has gone on to become the world's second biggest game franchise, having generated well over $58 billion in revenue. And if you go outside right now, you'll probably even see people tuned into their mobile phones playing the latest game in their lineup, Pokemon Go. It was released just a few weeks ago, and within days, Pokemon Go was topping social media, news articles, headlines, even the stock market charts. Right now, Pikachu, he's worth a lot of money. But Pokemon was just one example of successfully exported Japanese titles. Ever since then, the genre has been gaining a cult-like following from across the whole world. And the idea of the anime art style has even become synonymous with creative freedom and expression. But one of the biggest problems that faces this audience is that they can't always access the kind of content that they love. And that's a reason because the studios that produce them are all located in East Asia, resulting in natural language barriers and also artificial region locks. That's ridiculous. It's like if you couldn't play your favorite game or even sport like soccer because you didn't live in Europe. And we at Gaudium believe differently. Our vision is to circumvent those barriers and produce anime media and content right here in the US, where English is the main language. The question is, how do we do that, and through what channels? Well, if we think back to Pokemon for a second, we know that a lot of its success is due to the small, lovable creatures and the allure of catching them all. But another aspect is the fact that it was highly mobile. You could take your Game Boy Color anywhere with you, and nowadays even your mobile phone. And that mixture of collection and mobility together is such a gripping concept. It's part of the reason why, out of all mobile app revenue, 85% of it is generated from games. it makes mobile the perfect platform for Gaudium's first product, Armor Blitz. Armor Blitz is a digital collectible card game where you can assemble an army of World War II inspired characters to fight against the world's corrupt forces. Now, let's dig into this a little bit more. Essentially, we're taking historical military vehicles and then putting our own spin on it. So on the left, you'll see the Soviet Katyusha rocket truck. And then this is our character, Katyusha. She has her own personality and background that you can learn about as you play. When you first enter Armor Blitz, you're greeted by Lieutenant Rachel, and she's relaying a very important message to you. The corruption are attacking, and you as the new general are in command to push them out. As you learn how to play, you'll discover the various role-playing and also strategy aspects that we've built into the game's design. So this is the world map. You can collect resources, fight battles, construct new units, and also customize them so that each player's gameplay experience is unique. And we've also paired this with real-time gameplay, which is an adjustment we actually made for the Western audience, as they enjoy interactive gameplay that Eastern studios typically can't offer. So far, Armor Blitz has been featured on the Square Enix Collective program. And if you didn't know, Square Enix is one of the world's biggest publishers, known for titles like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, and even Lara Croft's Tomb Raider. It was a chance for us to get feedback from users and also iterate over our initial prototype throughout the course of a month. But it also got us a lot of press coverage from around the web, on sites like Silicon Era, and also Goboyano, which is essentially the BuzzFeed for anime. Our team has been working together ever since our days in Wolverine Soft, which is the University of Michigan's game development club. After winning a lot of local game competitions and even deploying live products to the Google Play Store, we decided we could do something even bigger, Armor Blitz. But in addition to our local team, we also work with artists from across the world who align with our vision. So far, there are over 20 artists that have not only produced content for the game, but also helped to spread our own brand to their own fan bases. It's helped us gain traction throughout the web and on social media. And because Armor Blitz is actually in live beta testing right now, we get constant communication from our users, allowing us to create a truly user-driven game and experience. Some of them even draw fan art for us, which, as a developer, is amazing to see your own designs being recreated by others. So far, the beta has over 1,500 downloads at an 18% day 7 retention rate, which is well above the industry average of only 10%. Our rollout strategy includes a regional test later this month, and that's so we can refine our retention and monetization numbers before our full release on November 1st. That way, we can hit the ground running. The world of Armor Blitz is fighting a huge war right now, and they need generals like you to help. If you want to join and learn more about Armor Blitz or about Gaudium's vision, then we want all of you to come speak with us afterwards. So please do. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Todd Sullivan. I did my MBA here at the University of Michigan, so I'm always really excited to come back to Ann Arbor. A little background on me. I've built and sold my last 2 tech companies. I'm a venture partner with a West Coast firm now, and in the past year, I've been investing in and mentoring tech companies here in Michigan. And my favorite company that I've been mentoring is called MySwimPro. And it's not only because in a very short period of time, MySwimPro has become the #1 mobile swim app in the United States, but it's also that they're empowering a community of tech-savvy fitness athletes to become better swimmers. And this success has happened in a very short period of time, and it couldn't be better timing because we have the biggest brands in the world, from Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, shelling out hundreds of millions of dollars for these types of communities. And nobody is doing as well as MySwimPro. I mean, it's not even close. So there's a lot to really like about this company, but as an investor, we really, at this stage in particular, we're investing in people. So I want to tell you just a little bit about the team. We have 2 highly accomplished software engineers, and I guess what I would call a growth hacker marketing maven. And I can throw out these accolades based on the app itself. Go look at MySwimPro. It is really unbelievable, and it's why they have so many people using it. today. 2 of their founders are also highly accomplished collegiate swimmers. And I bring this up because it turns out to be an incredible competitive advantage for these guys. It gives them access to their market kind of unparalleled to any of the other companies that I mentor. They can reach out to gold medal Olympic swimmers. They get to the biggest associations in the world, and that gives them access to this customer and the customer that they have today. The CEO, Faris Sabati, he is special. And I can say this because Faris used to work for me. Faris was a big part of building up our community, our revenue, and helping sell our last company. So when he went off to start his own company, I was very excited for him. He's brilliant. He's a leader. He's a mentor. At this stage, if you are looking for an entrepreneur to bet on, Faris is your guy. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce the last company of the day, which is MySwimPro.
You can't put a limit on anything. The more you dream, the farther you'll get. Elite athletes dream of winning gold at the Olympic Games. It's the opportunity to represent your country on the world's biggest stage. Now, while most of us won't compete in Rio, we all still aspire to achieve our dreams. At MySwimPro, we're helping athletes around the world achieve their gold medal moments like never before. We've developed a mobile application that delivers a personalized swim training experience that helps athletes achieve their goals. We're making swimming super simple so athletes can share, compare, and compete just like runners and cyclists do today. Our founding team combines Olympic swimming experience, nationally recognized coaching, and our founders have led mobile teams at Fortune 100 companies. The sport of swimming is growing faster than any other sport, and is considered one of the most aspirational sports across nearly every age group. On top of that, the health and fitness industry is booming, and in just the last few years, we've seen the leading mobile fitness apps partner with the largest sports brands in the world. Companies like Adidas, Under Armour, and NBC Sports have spent over $1 billion acquiring the latest and greatest in sports technology companies. Our team is determined to emerge as the leading fitness application for swimmers. Today, MySwimPro is the #1 ranked app for swimmers in the App Store in the United States. Now, the biggest challenge facing our sport today is access to structured training and coaching. As a coach, I've seen firsthand the limited resources available to the over 26 million people who swim for fitness right here in the United States. But the problem extends well beyond our borders, and globally, there are over 100 million swimmers who don't have access or the opportunity to work with a coach and reach their full potential. You see, if you're not spending hundreds of dollars per month on a personal coach, swimming on your own is hard. It's boring, monotonous, and without the right training plan, without the right guidance, achieving your goals can be a real challenge. And that's where MySwimPro comes in. We deliver an unbelievable experience for our athletes. Using our dynamic training algorithm, we deliver personalized workouts, instructional video content, and detailed analytics so an athlete can track their progress and measure their improvement. The way it works is simple. You go into our app, you select a workout, and after your swim, you log it. And all your analytics are there at your fingertips so you can track your progress towards your goals. It's like a virtual coach that allows an athlete to train wherever and whenever they choose. But we're doing more than just delivering workouts. We're transforming people's lives. Whether it's helping people like Edel to lose weight, or helping triathletes like Tom cross the finish line at their very first triathlon. The success stories that we've heard from our community are truly remarkable and an inspiration to our team. Now, we've designed our subscription-based business model after the leading fitness apps in the category that see a free to paid conversion rate of 2%. Now, we launched Premium just a few months ago, and we're already seeing conversion rates that are above the industry average. We have over 80,000 we have over 80,000 athletes who have registered on our platform. Of those, 27,000 are monthly active, and together, they've collectively logged over 100 million meters on our platform. We have over 60,000 followers across our social media, and for the last month, we've been featured on the homepage of the App Store. So while you may not be able to see me here today, or whatever slides I have, maybe you do. Excellent. I don't see it. We're going to backtrack so I can show you this. It's pretty awesome. Maybe not. We've been on the homepage of the App Store for the last month, and we've been able to do all of that because of the value we deliver and the loyalty of our community. Now today, we have a mobile and web application that, like I said, we have over 80,000 athletes on the platform. We're building the social elements to our community so that we can connect swimmers around the world so they can share, compare, and compete with each other like never before. After that, we'll integrate with different wearable technology companies. And we've already been approached by the leaders in the industry who have approached us about building exclusive integrations with their devices. Now, after that, we'll look to grow through teams and building leaderboards and challenges. Now, it's been a thrill to share with you some of the gold medal moments that have come out of our community. And I'd love to speak with you guys more about what some of your gold medal moments have been in your life and how our team is empowering aquatic prowess across the globe. Thank you.
I feel so lucky to get to come to work every day and work with this group of talented and passionate individuals who are helping teach me things, and I get to brainstorm with and laugh with and ultimately build the awesome companies that you heard from today. I'm so proud of what each of them have accomplished. And so for the last time, can we get one more round of applause for this group?
Thanks, Jeffrey. Hi, I'm Mary, founder and CEO of Foodscape, an online marketplace that makes it easy to grow and share food. My experience in food and technology